What if the one thing that's been draining your time could actually be the thing that changes your life? Right now, in your pocket, on your desk, in your hand, you hold a device that billions of people use every day for distractions, for entertainment, for scrolling aimlessly. But what if you used it differently? What if you turned it into a weapon, a tool, a machine that prints money, builds freedom, and unlocks a life you don't have to escape from? That's not a fantasy. That's reality for a growing number of people who decided to stop being passive consumers and start becoming creators, earners, builders. The truth is, the smartphone isn't just a phone, it's a gateway, a bridge between where you are and where you could be. It connects you to every tool you need to make money, build a brand, sell a skill, or reach millions with a message. The problem? Most people never realize it. They've been trained to use it for dopamine, not for dollars. But something brought you here. Maybe it was curiosity. Maybe it was hunger. Maybe it was frustration with the way things are. And deep down, maybe you're tired of watching others win while you sit on the sidelines wondering if you'll ever catch a break. Here's the hard truth most people won't tell you. No one is coming to save you. No one is handing out a golden ticket. But there's something better. There's this moment, right here, right now. And all it takes is one decision to start looking at your phone, not as a toy, but as a tool. Because the same device that steals your time can also buy it back. There are people just like you making thousands every week with nothing but that little screen in their hand. They're not special. They didn't start rich. Most didn't even know what they were doing at first, but they showed up, they learned, they executed, and they changed their lives. One click, one post, one decision at a time. And maybe you're thinking, but I've tried before. Or I don't even know where to begin. That's okay. You don't need to have all the answers today. You just need to ask yourself one question. Am I ready to stop wasting potential? Am I ready to use what I already have to build what I really want? Because let's be honest, nobody dreams of barely getting by. Nobody grows up wishing for a life filled with bills, burnout, and broken promises. You want more. You want freedom, time, peace, options. And guess what? Those aren't just for the lucky. They're for the disciplined, for the committed, for the ones who get sick of surviving and decide to start building. That's why this message matters. This isn't just about making money. It's about taking back control. It's about waking up with purpose. It's about turning the same device that used to waste hours into the very thing that funds your dreams. If you've ever felt like the odds were stacked against you, this is your advantage. If you've ever felt behind in life, this is how you catch up. If you've ever wanted more than just enough to get by, this is your starting point. Because the truth is, nobody cares how you start. They care how you finish. And if you stick around and pay close attention, you'll understand exactly how people are making $1,000 or more every single day using nothing but a smartphone, and how you can do it too. But even more than the money, this is about possibility. It's about proof. It's about knowing that you don't have to accept a life you didn't choose. You can rewrite your story. And it starts with the thing you already have in your hand. That little screen you stare at all day, it's not your escape. It's your engine. The question is, will you finally start the ignition? If the engine's in your hand, the next step is simple. Learn how to drive it. Here's the secret that most people overlook. You don't need more resources. You don't need more money, more time, or even more talent. What you need is to understand how to use what's already available to you. Because the difference between someone who earns $1,000 a day and someone who earns 10 is not luck. It's not background. It's leverage. Leverage is using one thing to move something greater. It's the power of turning a small tool like your smartphone into a force that moves income, impact, and independence. The people who are building digital empires, stacking up cash, and living life on their terms, they're not relying on chance. They're using leverage. Your phone is your leverage. It connects you to the world. It gives you access to platforms, people, and opportunities that once took years or even decades to reach. What used to require offices, teams, and massive investments now fits in your pocket. The only thing left is your mindset. Because the truth is, most people aren't broke because of money. They're broke because of belief. They've been told they need permission to succeed. They've been trained to wait, to hesitate, to fear mistakes and doubt their own potential. And it's that hesitation that keeps them stuck. But here's the truth. They were never taught. You don't need permission. You don't need to be chosen. You need to choose yourself. This is where it starts. Not when everything's perfect, not when you feel ready, but right now with whatever you know, whatever you have, because action beats perfection. And momentum crushes hesitation every single time. You don't need to have it all figured out. You just need to take one step in the right direction and then another. Every day, show up. Every day, learn a little more. Every day, build just a little further. That's how winning is done. Quietly, consistently, relentlessly. And understand this, you're not behind. You're not too late. You're not missing anything. You're exactly where you need to be to start. The phone in your hand isn't just a tool. It's a signal. A sign that says everything you need is already within reach. The only thing missing is the decision to use it. Some people will hear this and scroll away. They'll keep doing what they've always done. But you're different. You're still here. That means you're ready. Maybe you felt the pressure of bills piling up. Maybe you're tired of answering to someone else, living paycheck to paycheck, never having enough. Maybe you've got dreams so big they scare you, but they won't leave you alone. That pressure, that hunger, that discomfort, it's not weakness. It's fuel. Use it. Let it drive you, not defeat you. Let it sharpen your focus, not dull your hope, because pressure either breaks you or builds you. And when you decide to rise, when you decide to take control, nothing can stop you. You were not born to be average. You were not put on this earth to just get by. You were made for more. And the same phone that most people use to escape their lives, you can use to rebuild yours. You can build skills. You can market products. You can start a business. You can connect, sell, create, grow, earn, all from that tiny screen in your hand. That's not a fantasy. That's what people are doing every single day. People with less knowledge, less support, less confidence, but they started anyway. And the moment they stopped waiting for the right time, their time began. So what will you do? Will you keep wishing, hoping, scrolling, or will you leverage what you already have and start building something real? There's no better feeling than waking up knowing your income isn't controlled by a boss, that your time is yours again, that you're building something no one can take from you. That power, it's not found in some distant future. It's in your hands. Literally, this is your moment right now. Decide to believe in the possibility of more. Decide that you're done settling. Decide that your smartphone isn't just for watching other people live their dreams. It's for building your own. And when you choose that, everything begins to shift. You stop waiting. You stop wishing. You start building. You start earning. You start becoming the person you were always meant to be. All it takes is one shift, one belief, one choice. The rest, that's momentum. And momentum, once it starts, becomes unstoppable. When momentum kicks in, everything changes. Suddenly, what once felt impossible starts to feel within reach. The doubts begin to fade. The excuses grow quieter. And for the first time in a long time, you begin to believe that maybe, just maybe, you're not stuck. You were just never shown the map. Let's make it clear. Earning $1,000 a day from your phone isn't a fantasy. It's a formula. People are doing it every single day, not because they're geniuses or gurus, but because they've figured out how to plug into systems that already work. And they're consistent. They don't chase hype. They build habits. There's a world of platforms out there, platforms that reward you for creating, for sharing, for solving problems, for helping others. You can write, speak, edit, market, coach, consult, promote. You can be the face or stay completely behind the scenes. It doesn't matter. What matters is this. There are doors wide open, waiting for someone willing to walk through. Freelancing is one of them. People are turning simple skills like writing, design, video editing, coding, or social media into income streams. You don't need to be an expert. You just need to be better than someone who's looking for help. And with thousands of businesses searching daily, the opportunity is already there. All you have to do is show up. Then there's affiliate marketing, sharing products you believe in through your link on your terms, no inventory, no customer service, just smart promotion and the willingness to learn how traffic and trust work. The people making thousands a day, they didn't start with a huge audience. They started with consistency, with value, with effort. And over time, the numbers followed. Content creation, that's another one. And no, it's not just about going viral. It's about understanding how to turn attention into assets. Posting with purpose, monetizing through brand deals, product links, ad revenue, digital products. If you have a message or a skill or even a curiosity, you have content, and content compounds. One post turns into 10, 10 turns into 100. Each one a brick in a foundation you're building with your own hands. These aren't theories. They're real, proven paths. And yes, they all take time, but time is going to pass anyway. The question is, will you spend that time building a future or wasting another day wishing for one? People stay stuck because they think too far ahead. They want the finish line before they take the first step. But success doesn't work like that. You start with zero. You learn, you earn, you grow. Then one day your phone buzzes and it's another payment, another client, another sale, not luck, or just the result of finally choosing to use your time, your energy, your device with intention. This is not about shortcuts. This is about shifting from being a consumer to becoming a creator, from scrolling to scaling, from watching to working. The change is mental first. Before the money ever shows up, your mindset has to. Because if you don't believe it's possible for you, you'll never even try. That's where most people lose. Not because they aren't smart enough, but because they quit before they begin. They hear $1,000 a day and instantly tell themselves that's not for me. But here's the truth. The only difference between you and the ones making that money is that they decided to learn how. They gave themselves permission to try, to fail, to start again, to get better. And now they wake up free. Free from alarms they hate. Free from bosses they resent. Free from watching their life pass by. Always feeling behind, always waiting for something to change. But nothing changes until you do. So ask yourself, what would your life look like if you had the freedom to earn without limits? To choose how you spend your time, where you live, who you help, how you grow? That kind of freedom doesn't come from waiting. It comes from work, from bold decisions, from doing the hard thing now so your future self doesn't have to suffer later. You don't need anyone's permission. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to take what's already in your hand and do something with it. Because the ones who win aren't the ones who know the most. They're the ones who do the most with what they know. This is your chance to become that kind of person. The one who stops scrolling and starts building. The one who replaces excuses with execution. The one who refuses to settle for a life that feels small when they know they were meant for something bigger. You're closer than you think. One action away, one offer away, one habit away from momentum that doesn't stop. And once it starts, it doesn't just change your income. It changes your identity. Identity is everything. Once you shift the way you see yourself, the world begins to respond differently. You stop thinking like a follower and start acting like a creator. You stop asking for permission and start building without apology. That shift is where the real change happens, not just in what you do, but in who you become. Most people wait for results before they change how they see themselves. But real winners do the opposite. They adopt the mindset first. They see themselves as capable, resourceful, unstoppable, even when the evidence isn't there yet. That's what separates the few who rise from the many who stay stuck. They decide who they are before the world confirms it, and that decision creates momentum. But here's what holds people back. It's not the lack of tools or time or information. It's the quiet, relentless voice in their mind that says, you're not ready. You're not enough. Why would anyone listen to you? That voice lies. And the longer you listen to it, the further you drift from the life you were meant to live. Because here's the truth. No one starts ready. No one starts confident. Everyone begins with fear. Everyone begins with doubt. The difference? Some people take action anyway. And with each step forward, fear loses its grip. Confidence isn't found. It's built brick by brick through bold decisions and small wins repeated over time. You don't have to be fearless. You just have to be willing to look at the fear and move anyway, willing to show up even when no one's watching, willing to invest energy today for a life that pays you back every single day after. That's how freedom is earned. If you want to make $1,000 a day from your phone, it's not about a magic strategy. It's about becoming the kind of person who doesn't settle. The kind of person who stops waiting for signs and starts becoming the signal. The kind of person who treats time like it's precious, not endless, because time is your most valuable currency. And every second you spend doubting, delaying, distracting yourself is a second you never get back. While others scroll, you build. While others complain, you create. That's the mindset of someone who wins. Quiet discipline, relentless commitment, faith that your effort will compound. The ones making thousands every day didn't start with massive results. They started with massive intention. They set a target. They showed up. They kept going when no one believed in them. And eventually the world caught up to the vision they had from day one. You have that same potential. Your smartphone isn't just a piece of technology. It's a machine of leverage. It connects you to opportunity. It allows you to build a skill, launch a service, create content, grow a business, connect with people, solve problems, and get paid, all from the palm of your hand. But it only works when you decide to use it differently, with purpose, with discipline, with vision. And that starts with how you start your day, how you manage your time, how you train your mind. Your habits either serve your future or sabotage it. And every day you're casting a vote for the life you want or the one you'll regret. This isn't about hustle for the sake of hustle. This is about alignment, doing the work that matters, focusing on actions that move the needle, building something real that you own, that no one can take from you. Because when you build your income from your skills and ideas, you're no longer trapped in someone else's system. You're free. And freedom isn't about having millions in the bank. It's about choice. It's about waking up and deciding how your day will go. It's about knowing you can earn from anywhere at any time using nothing but what you've built. That's the kind of power that doesn't just change your bank account. It changes your future. It changes the way you walk, the way you think, the way you live. You don't need to wait years to start seeing results. You just need to stop wasting days. The compound effect is real. One consistent hour a day, one focused project, one platform you commit to, one offer you improve. Over time, it stacks. And what was once just a goal becomes your new normal. There is no perfect moment to begin. There is only now. And now is powerful. Now is rare. Most people waste it. But not you. You've listened this far because something in you is done waiting, done hoping, done playing small. You're ready to become the version of yourself who doesn't just watch success from a screen, but creates it with their own two hands. That person is already in you. It's time to bring them out. Once you realize the power is already in your hands, there are no more excuses left to hold on to. No more blaming circumstances. No more pointing fingers at time, money, or luck. Because the moment you understand that you are the only obstacle between where you are and where you want to be, everything changes. Most people never get to this point. They live their entire lives behind walls they built in their minds. They don't fail because of lack of opportunity. They fail because they keep waiting for permission to act. They're stuck in the loop of hesitation, overthinking, and self-doubt. And every day they wait is another day they hand over their future to fear. But not you. You're still here. You've already broken the pattern. You've stepped into the awareness that success isn't something given. It's something claimed. And now the only thing left is the decision to follow through. You don't need to know everything right now. You just need to be dangerous with what you already know. You already have access to platforms that pay. You already have tools that cost you nothing but time. You already have experience, ideas, and skills you've picked up along the way. It's all there. What's missing is execution, because success isn't a secret. It's not locked behind some paywall or held only by the privileged few. Success is the result of discipline meeting direction. It's the daily grind of showing up even when it's hard, even when it's quiet, even when no one claps. It's turning down distractions and turning up your standards. People talk about wanting freedom, but they avoid the very actions that build it. They say they want change, but stay loyal to the habits that keep them stuck. The truth is harsh but clear. Your future is being created by the actions you're taking or avoiding right now. And here's where most people fail. They focus too much on outcomes and not enough on systems. They chase the result but ignore the routine. But what gets repeated gets rewarded. If you wake up every day and treat your smartphone like a business tool, not a toy, it starts to pay you like one. It's about setting a rhythm. Learning something new, applying it, creating something valuable, offering it to the world, listening to feedback, improving, repeating. There is no magic button, but there is magic in momentum. And when you stay consistent, even in small things, the compound effect makes the results feel sudden. The world doesn't reward intentions, it rewards action. And every post you make, every product you promote, every client you reach, every problem you solve, that's a deposit into your future. It doesn't seem big at first, but it adds up fast. One connection becomes two. One sale becomes a stream. One habit becomes a lifestyle. This is what separates the doers from the dreamers. The doers stopped needing to feel motivated to move. They made motion the default. They created structure around their goals. They treated 5 minutes of execution as more valuable than 5 hours of thinking because they understood one truth. Energy without direction is wasted potential. You don't need to be extraordinary. You need to be consistent. You don't need to have 1 million followers. You need to solve a real problem for one person and then do it again. You don't need to wait for opportunity. You need to recognize that you're holding it. Right now, there are people searching online for what you already know how to do. Right now, there are companies paying people to manage simple tasks from their phones. Right now, platforms are monetizing content, skills, ideas, and rewarding those who dare to show up. There's no shortage of opportunity. There's only a shortage of decision. So make yours. Decide that you are no longer available for mediocrity. Decide that your time will be spent on progress, not just distractions. Decide that every tap on that screen will move you closer to something that matters. This isn't about becoming someone new. It's about returning to who you were before the world convinced you to settle. Before you believed the lie that success was for someone else. You were built to build, built to lead, built to create, built to rise. But you must choose it daily, not when it's convenient, not when it's easy, but especially when it's not, because that's when your identity shifts. That's when your bank account changes. That's when your energy sharpens. That's when people start noticing. That's when momentum becomes unstoppable. And once it does, you don't just make $1,000 a day. You make impact. You make freedom. You make legacy. You make yourself undeniable. Undeniable isn't a title someone gives you. It's something you earn through focus, through action, through the quiet decision to never go back to who you used to be. It's not about perfection. It's about presence, showing up with purpose, owning your path, building your future with intention, not just wishful thinking. The ones who rise are not the loudest or the most talented. They're the most committed. They don't wait for the right time. They create it. They don't seek approval. They move with clarity. They don't get distracted by doubt. They lean into discomfort and trust the process because they understand the truth that most ignore. Comfort is the enemy of growth. If your life feels heavy, stuck, or small, it's not because you're not capable. It's because you've been conditioned to tolerate it, or conditioned to shrink your vision to fit your circumstances. But you were never meant to live a life of survival. You were meant to build a life of expansion. The life you want, the income, the freedom, the peace, it doesn't respond to your hopes. It responds to your discipline. The moment you stop negotiating with your potential, everything changes. When you treat your dream like it's urgent, it starts showing up for you. Doors open, people appear, opportunities align, not because the world changes, but because you do. You become magnetic when you move with purpose. You become powerful when you stop waiting and start executing. You become rare when you hold yourself to a standard that doesn't require validation. This is how you rise. This is how you create wealth that doesn't disappear when the market shifts. This is how you build income that's not tied to hours or location. It starts with you, right where you are, using what you have, refusing to let another day pass without planting seeds for the future you want. There's no perfect blueprint. No universal step-by-step that guarantees instant results, but there is a mindset, a rhythm, a way of showing up that always wins. It's built on clarity, consistency, and courage. Clarity in what you want and why it matters. Not vague goals, not borrowed dreams, but your vision, specific, personal, non-negotiable. Consistency in your actions. Not random bursts of motivation, but daily movement. Tiny wins stacked on top of each other. A routine that serves your vision, not your feelings. Courage to act in spite of fear, to keep going when it's hard, to silence the noise of doubt and choose belief over comfort. This isn't a motivational idea. It's a proven path. Because your phone, the thing you carry everywhere, is not just for calls or scrolling. It's your gateway to global income. It gives you leverage. It gives you reach. It gives you tools people 20 years ago could only dream of. You can build a brand from it. You can sell a service. You can create digital products. You can monetize your voice, your story, your expertise. You can connect to communities, solve problems, get paid, all without leaving your room, or all without asking anyone for permission. So why not you? Why not start today? Why not turn the hours you lose into hours that pay you? Why not commit fully to something that could change everything? Not just for a day, not just for a week, but for your future, your family, your legacy. Because when you do, things shift. You stop thinking small. You stop choosing distractions. You stop living like life is happening to you, and you start moving like life is waiting on you. You stop being a follower of trends and become a builder of value. You stop being addicted to instant gratification and start getting obsessed with long-term rewards. You stop doubting your ability and start demanding more from your time, your energy, and your mind. That's when $1,000 a day stops sounding crazy. It starts sounding logical, predictable, inevitable, because you've built the system. You've trained the mindset. You've done the work. The moment you realize you're in control is the moment you break free, not just financially, but mentally. And mental freedom is the foundation of everything else. It's what allows you to show up with intensity, to work when it's hard, to rise when it's slow, to stay grounded when it finally works. So hold the vision, trust the process, build the momentum. And remember, your smartphone isn't just a device, it's your launch pad. And if you treat it like one, if you commit like your life depends on it, one day it won't just make you money, It will make you unshakable. Unshakable isn't just a mindset, it's a lifestyle. It's the point where your belief in yourself is no longer up for debate, where your daily actions are rooted in clarity, not confusion, where your work no longer feels like a chore because it's aligned with who you're becoming. That's the power of commitment. That's what happens when you decide to stop negotiating with your limitations. You've spent enough time wondering if you have what it takes. You do. The results you want don't come to the most gifted. They come to the most consistent, to the ones who show up before they feel ready, who learn by doing, who treat each day as another opportunity to prove to themselves that this time they won't stop halfway. This isn't about motivation anymore. It's about identity. The moment you see yourself as someone who follows through, someone who builds, someone who earns from value, not from luck, you stop getting shaken by delays or distractions. You start thinking in long-term gains instead of short-term relief. You don't chase noise, you create impact. That's what income from your smartphone really is. It's not about quick wins or flashy screenshots. It's about mastering the skill of creating value at scale. It's about building something that pays you even when you're not working. Something that frees your time, not just fills your pockets. But none of that happens by accident. It happens when you build structure into your day, when you treat your screen time like strategy time, when you replace endless scrolling with focused learning, when you cut off the distractions that drain you and double down on the actions that grow you. And yes, it's hard. Yes, it's uncomfortable. Yes, you'll have days where doubt creeps in and momentum feels slow. But remember, most people quit not because it's impossible, but because they get impatient. They confuse effort with failure. They expect results without repetition. But repetition is the price of mastery. You don't get paid for the idea. You get paid for the execution, for turning knowledge into action, for turning your attention into output. That's how your smartphone becomes more than a device. It becomes a machine, a system, a gateway to income you control. Every time you show up, you cast a vote for the future you want. Every time you choose growth over comfort, you get stronger. Every day you stay consistent, even in small ways, you get closer to breaking the limits that once felt permanent. And when you do that long enough, something incredible happens. Your results become undeniable. People will start asking how you did it. They'll assume you had some advantage. But they won't see the hours you spent building, learning, refining, the sacrifices you made, the distractions you ignored, the voice you silenced inside your own head that kept saying, maybe this isn't for you. That voice will lose its power because you've built a new one that says, this is who I am now. I don't quit. I don't wait. I don't waste time on things that don't build me. That's how you win. That's how you create a life where your income flows through your own efforts, not someone else's approval. That's how you wake up every morning with purpose instead of pressure. And the best part, you don't need anyone's permission to start. You don't need to be invited. The tools are already in your hand. The strategy is already within reach. You just have to commit to using them differently, with urgency, with hunger, with relentless follow through. Because once you do, the smartphone stops being a distraction and becomes your greatest asset. A bridge to clients, a platform for income, a launchpad for ideas, a weapon for building freedom. You have to believe it before you see it. You have to move before you feel ready. You have to trust that small steps, taken daily, lead to massive transformation. And when the income starts coming in, not from a job, not from a paycheck, but from the system you built with your mind, your phone, and your discipline, you'll realize something important. The money isn't even the best part. The best part is who you had to become to earn it. Someone focused, someone confident, someone free. That version of you is waiting, but they're not found in comfort. They're built in the moments you choose action over excuses, courage over fear, clarity over chaos. Start now, not next week, not when it's convenient, not when everything feels perfect. Now, while it still scares you, while it still stretches you, while it still matters. Because the sooner you move, the sooner you multiply. The sooner you decide, the sooner you dominate. And once you get a taste of what it feels like to earn with intention, to build something that belongs to you, you'll never want to go back. Not to limits, not to waiting, not to settling. Only forward, only higher, only free.